Hi everyone, I am Jay Angel, an independent voice actor, on the rise, a singer, songwriter, music video director, executive producer, entrepreneur. I'm also a certified radio announcer professionally. Yes. This video is a sit down in person biography of myself. I have been in the entertainment industry for 9 years, basically. Some people know me, some people don't know me, some people don't know where I came from, some people don't know my story, some people speak on rumors, don't know much. So this video is about me giving you my truth on becoming J Angel and how I became J Angel in the entertainment industry in Trinidad and Tobago. I was born in the beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago, Arima, Trinidad, East Side specifically. I was born in Arima, conceived in Arima, born in Arima Hospital. I was never migrated to Trinidad. I wasn't raised in or moved into the east side of Trinidad. I was born and raised. So I'm a proud Arimian at heart. I attended Arima Centenary Primary School. I also graduated from Valencia Secondary High School. I came out there with 6 O-level. I grew up in other parts of the east side as well at a younger age. A place called Fishing Pond, which is deep countryside in the east side of Trinidad, Sangre Grande. At one point I grew up in Malabar, in Arima. My parents, we used to live in Oldton Road when I was at a very young age. We moved to Pinto, so different sides of Arima I grew up and different sides of the east side I grew up in. However, my life growing up in Trinidad wasn't all what you think. I didn't have a good childhood to see. I grew up in a very unstable home, and at one point I grew up at a stage where I basically had to take care of myself and also assist in taking care of my siblings. At a very young age, my biological parents, they split, to be honest. My mother had every reason to split from my biological father because back then, my biological father, he was a very, very violent man. My mother took a lot of beatings from him and he abused her in many ways, more than one. I grew up around a lot of domestic violence around my family. I grew up seeing so many different things in my community, in the different environments I was placed in. So at a very young age, I always looked at myself not wanting to become like my environment. When my mom and my biological father split, when she could no longer take the abuse, life was very difficult. Very, very difficult. This was a woman with three children, 3 girls at a point in time. And life was very, very difficult. She didn't really have much guidance. She didn't really have much help. So at one point in my life, I was placed in the St. Jude's home, where the nuns and they would help my mom take care of me and my other siblings while she would go looking for work. So I don't remember much growing up in St. Jude's home, but my mom told me that it was, it was a situation. Yeah. When both my biological parents split, life became very hard. Very, very hard. Then my mom went on to marry someone, and that person became my adopted dad. He's not my biological father, but he's the person that I acknowledge as my father, which is Papi. My biological father never really took full care of me, his responsibility. He was never really a man like that. When my mother married Papi, my adopted dad, we moved to a place called Fishing Pond, which is in the countryside. Part of my life, I grew up there in the deep, deep countryside. I used to really love living that type of life, to be honest, because it was very laid back and it showed me a lot about being very humble and being contented. And to me, it was a rich life in terms of just having the necessities. We didn't have much, but the country style life, it felt like freedom for me. I grew up selling in the market, vegetables, fruits, produce with my mom and my stepdad at the time. For many years, I grew up selling in the market. Port of Spain market, Arima market, you name it. I was known as the little red girl in the market. To this very day, everybody know who I am and they're very proud of me. My life, however, took a turn for the worse when I reached the age of a teenager. My mom and my stepdad at the time, they split, they got a divorce, and my mother was in a situation that was very life-threatening. No result of my stepdad. However, another situation she was in, and at that point in time, I didn't have my mother in my life. So my sisters and I, we were just moving around in different family homes. At the age of 14, I was placed back in Arima in a family home there. And that's when my life took a turn for the worst. In my environment, I was once again placed among a lot of domestic violence around me. There were a lot of negative things around me, which wasn't really to be, for any young person growing up should be exposed to that. However, that was my reality, and I was determined to make that change. Growing up in the East Side, because of my environment, I gravitated to two things. To music. I used to listen to music a lot. I used to sing a lot. I used to write music from a very young age. And for some reason, telephone network company decided to put a phone booth in my community. And with that phone booth, I decided I wanted to be just like that operator's voice. Yeah, so I used to run out the road and go by that phone booth and I would listen to the operator's voice over and over. And I would just imagine myself and try to practice sounding like the operator. And I said, one day that's what I want to do. In fact, that used to take me away from all the bad, negative things that used to happen around me, especially when this had happened. At the age of 14, the family home that I was placed in, I was abused. I was molested by a family member. That became the darkest time of my life. It was something, when it was happening, I didn't know that it was right or wrong. I didn't know. To me, I felt like if maybe that's something every young girl have to go through. And at the same time, I was in high school. I was in Valencia Secondary High School at that point in time. Also, my abuser at that point in time would always threaten me. I used to get licks a lot as well because he thought I would tell people or I told someone and I didn't. So basically, at the age of 14, the worst experience of my life, the darkest time, was at that time. I didn't know what to do. The abuse went on for some time until I felt within me like something ain't right. So even when I was in secondary school, I used to keep to myself. Sometimes I didn't even want to go home. I used to take extra classes, like band classes, play football, play basketball, table tennis, extracurricular activities, all because I just didn't want it to go home. But I had to go because I was my home. At school, there was a time that the principal had police officers, held a 2-day seminar for females and for males. And the seminar, when I tell you God, in that moment, it's like I felt like God existed. Because before I didn't believe in God, based on what was happening to me and why I had to grow up in this life and why I had to be getting licks, why people had to be doing things to me, why I don't know myself, But in that moment, I believed in God because that day at school, for those 2 days seminar, the seminar was about abuse in the home, domestic violence, molestation, sexual abuse for both males and females and family members, incest, all these different things. And in that seminar, while the seminar was going on, I started to cry. I left, I ran out, and I went to the restroom. Because then I started to realize, but wait a minute, this is the same thing that I am going through. And they even went on to speak about, if it is you don't speak up, one day things could happen in such a way that the abuser might even get rid of you. When I went to the restroom, my art teacher, I will never forget, Mrs. Goodridge, she came. And she said, Jay, what's wrong? Why you run out of this seminar? And I said, Miss, I'm afraid to tell you because I will get licks. And she told me, she said, no, talk to me. And I told her what I was going through. And I'll never forget. My teacher gave me some change that she had. And she said, that same phone booth in your community you like to go to, pick up the phone and call your mother and tell your mother what's going on. Now, at that point in time, I never used to tell anybody anything because think about it. I'm 14 years at age. Forgive me, guys. This is a very difficult thing for me to explain, but this is all who I am and the reality and how I became J Angel. At that age, I didn't have much money and stuff. So when my teacher gave me that money, I built up the courage and I called my mom on the phone booth and I told my mom what was happening to me. Although my mom was in a situation like I explained before, that was very life-threatening for her as well. Immediately, my mom believed me, and next day, she came and she took my little sister and myself away from there. My brain was still so young, and then I was being threatened. I was getting licks. I was, so my mind, like, I was just so to myself, and I just wanted to get away. My mom took me away from there. She believed me instantly. Just give me a second. When my mom took me away from there, we moved to my aunt's place in Malabar. I don't want to go into much details, to be honest. Maybe one day I'll tell my full story, proper story, but life wasn't easy. Life still wasn't easy. And I found myself in a space where my father didn't want to take care of me and my sister. My aunt, we're not her kids. She tried in whatever little way. My mom was in a situation. She would still try to give whatever little she could have. My grandfather used to give whatever he could have. But still it wasn't good enough to maintain myself and my little sister. So at a young age, I used to work to help send myself to school. In school, I'm not proud of it. I used to gamble in school. It was one of the things I used to do, to just make money, just to buy lunch, or sometimes even to get money for a taxi. Life was very difficult. Very, very, very hard. What I have experienced at the age of 14, it was very dark. But it made me become the woman that I am today. It was no easy task. At one point, I didn't want it to be alive. I questioned God a lot. Why these things happening to me? Why even here? But I fell in love with music. Like I said, I fell in love with being a voice actor. And I say, you know what? I'm going to pursue that. And despite whatever happened to me, I have life. So there must be a reason why it is I'm alive and I have a purpose. I just have to try to find it. So I had to battle my way out of my teenage years. I used to help take care of my siblings as a teenager when I used to work as well too. One point, I'll never forget, my sister looked at me at a day I came from school where I didn't make any money in gambling to buy anything for her to eat. And I remember she looked at me and she said, Jay, why we parents don't like we? Why we parents don't love we? Why we have to suffer? I hungry. They didn't have nothing to eat. Like I said, my aunt, she didn't have much, but she was a trying woman still. And that day we didn't have nothing in the house to eat. I fully remember climbing the neighbor's wall and there was a Julie mango tree. The Julie mango didn't even come out properly still. It's still, when you cut it, it had milk. It was green, not even half ripe, not even full. I took that mango, I put it in salt and I gave it to my sister to eat and pipe water for her to drink. I didn't have enough for me to get any, but that was basically it. That was just a snippet of some of the things that I went through, and to be honest, guys, overall, at the age of a teenager, while going to school as well, I had to work to try to send myself to school. Even when I had finished school at the age of 16, I worked to send myself back to school again. I worked in supermarkets, pharmacies. I worked underage in certain bars in Trinidad in the east side. I did many things. I worked in the market selling fruits and vegetables. I cleaned people's yard. I did so many different things, all because I had a goal and I had a vision. At the age of 16, I experienced something that kind of built back my self-esteem. And I know this is something that a lot of people don't know because I haven't really disclosed this information. When I was dealing with that abuse at the age of 14, honestly, I felt like I lost my entire self-esteem. I lost myself, my dignity. I didn't feel like anything. I didn't feel like anybody. But it was an opportunity and an opening for a pageant show called Miss Sandra Grande, and I'll never forget. At the age of 16, I entered that competition with my fast self. I didn't even expect to win, but I did. I won the competition. It was like 50 something girls. I was the youngest person. I was a teenager, age of 16 years. And I won the competition. And by winning that competition, that literally built back my self-esteem, and it made me feel like, okay, I have value to offer in society, and I could be somebody. And if I could pursue this, then I could pursue anything else. So much thanks to Mr. Richard Young. He was one of the judges there. Wendy Fitzwilliams, I know she can't remember me, but the queen, I get to meet Wendy Fitzwilliams at the age of 16. I'll never forget that, because she came and she spoke to the girls, and I told her, I said, one day I'd like to be you. And she gave me some encouragement. I know she can't remember me, but I definitely remember Miss Wendy Fitzwilliam, Queen Wendy Fitzwilliam. Yeah. And just her encouragement, her motivation gave me so much, to live for. Winning that competition was like a dream come true for me. Like I said, it raised my self-esteem, it raised my worth, and I said to myself, okay, if I could win this, then I could win anything that I put my mind to, And truth be told, after winning the competition, I pursued modeling for, let me see, like about 2-3 years. Yeah, I used to freelance as a model. I used to be in people's music videos. I modeled one time, three times for Mrs. Heather Jones. She probably cannot even remember me. So many models passed through those people. But I decided to venture off into that. But at the same time, I never forgot music. So I say, what, if it is I can pursue this modeling and this could work for me, and I won a competition, and it means I have some sort of value. So I know for a fact, if I put my mind to the music, and I put my mind to being a voice actor and becoming a radio announcer, I could get through. Because if I could win a pageant, I could more than win at life in that, and that gave me the motivation to go after it. So I decided to pursue my music and being a radio announcer. And that was not easy. When I tell you, becoming J Angel, the name in the media world, it was not an easy thing for me. When I started off in entertainment fully, I started off as a bottle service girl. I used to do little shows and stuff for people. I used to be, passing around bottles, and I was underage. People didn't know I was underage, but I was hustling, and I was looking for it, because I was trying to make up money to pay for my broadcasting school. When I tell you, when I wanted to pursue broadcasting and entertainment, nobody in my family believed me. The only person believed me was my mom, but she didn't have the money back then to really assist me. So I say, what, let me just go ahead and try to get it on my own. So I worked all those little jobs, and that helped me pave my way to broadcasting school. At the age of 17 as well, I started to live on my own. I didn't really have much options of anywhere to go, so I had no choice but to live on my own. Working these jobs, I tried to find things to do so I could pay my way to broadcasting school. However, in that same breath, I wouldn't disclose much about this, but at that point in my life, while at the same time I was trying to make up money for broadcasting school, plus having to pay my rent, I ended up meeting someone in the streets in Trinidad. Specifically, he was a boss, you could say. He never took advantage of me. However, when he met me, he saw that I was very beautiful, and I had a lot of great aspirations and goals. And I told him I wanted to go to broadcasting school and stuff. And he said he could help me make up the money. And once again, young, naive, but like I said, he never took advantage of me. He never touched me, he never did anything. However, I was exposed to a life in Trinidad that I didn't even knew existed at the point in time. Part of my life, I grew up in the streets in Trinidad. I was trained for certain things, and that's all I'm going to say on that. I don't really want to speak much on it. However, I can't leave out that experience, because that experience is one in which actually helped me to pay my way to broadcasting school. Yeah. While in that life, I experienced some very, very dark things. But what I could safely say is that with the experience, training, it made me into becoming a very militant woman. So when coming to Trinidad and Tobago, I have the experience of living in the streets and I have the experience of living a normal life. However, some of the people that I was associating myself with, they died. To this day, they died. So now graduating from broadcasting school, what's next for me? What's next? I didn't know how to get in the industry. So I say, you know what? At a young age, I always like the DJing and the announcing and these things and sound system and stuff. Maybe if I join a sound system, I could get through to be popular and then get on radio and I could start media and I could do entertainment. And I didn't know any sound system groups. Nobody wanted me. I used to go to parties. I say maybe if I go into these clubs and things, people might see me and want to give me a chance. A lot of people turned me down, except for one person. I was introduced to a person by the name, very talented creative in Trinidad and Tobago, by the name of Mush from Rapid Response. Yes, I was introduced to him. Macamillion, that's another creative in the entertainment industry. He was the first person I voiced an ad for. Yes, and Mush was the engineer. And Mush at that point in time, he helped me. He showed me, whatever he could have showed me to become a voice talent and to go about, in events and how to become an MC. But he didn't have much time to say because his hands was full and he already had a whole DJ group that he was in charge of. So guess what happened? Something great happened. There was a time that I went to St. James for an event that Mush had to play out in and he wanted to introduce me to someone. And that person he introduced me changed my life forever. The name, Chopper Chester Gordon. Yes, my very dear friend. He's no longer with us. However, Chopper is one of the main persons. In fact, he's the reason as to why it is I'm a very great MC and I'm a very great radio announcer. Meeting Chopper, my entire life changed. Moving with Chopper, we played out in different events. He showed me the ropes. He said, listen, to make it in this industry, I'm not in the corporate world, but I'm big and heavy on the ground. And that's where we're going to start off. So I used to play out in a lot of downtown events, boat rides. Listen, I played out and MC in places that some people have never touched and will never even touch. You name it. To the most ghetto part of Trinidad, however you want to call it. I've been there. To the most bad part, some people may think bad. I've been there and I was given a lot of love. I received a lot of love. And this is why to this day I can go in any part of Trinidad and feel comfortable to entertain my people because I literally built my career from the streets. Thank you, Mush, for introducing us. When I met Chopper, instantly, he saw the drive, the talent, the determination, the persistence. He saw everything in my eyes. And he say, Redo man, you want to make it in this industry, eh? He say, all right. He say, I'll put you in my group and I'll teach you. But I want you to become better than me. Yeah, I'm going to train you to the best of my ability. And you have to become one of the biggest thing in Trinidad. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. And I'll be very truthful. Chopper was a very inspirational person, but he also had his own life and his life in the community. It was very short-lived, I would say, but my experience with Chopper was one of the greatest for me because I learned a lot. He was the first person that officially took a chance on me and had me in his DJ group and taught me everything that I basically know today. Chopper showed me the most that he could have. He took me around with him anywhere he would go, most times, and he would always be there to give me that experience and always train me. And anytime he had like events, I would always go on set. So I was a part of Players International. That was the sound system that he had. However, Chopper himself was experiencing certain things. And I didn't know that there would have come a dark time in my life when coming to Chopper. He explained, we were very good friends. We were very, very good friends, very close friends. He was like a brother to me, like family. Although some people spread rumors that I was with him. It was nothing like that. He loved his children, Mother Candace, and he come on, DJs they have a lot of females coming after them. He was a girls man, definitely, but I was his very, very good friend, and he was my very, very good friend as well. He confided in me of something that was going on with him, which I didn't have any clue of. And this took place when we were booked for a gig up in Manzanilla, a weekend, a beach party. It was like a 4-day beach party with a whole set of different DJs and stuff, and people paid for their packages. And he said, Angie, let's take a walk on the beach. I want to talk to you about something. I said, sure. Little did I know, I was going to be faced with a heavy heart with that walk on the beach. And that would have been the last walk that I walked with Chopper. He told me, he said, I have something to tell you. I want you to know that I try my best that I could try and making you become, getting the experience. But I don't know how to get you onto radio, because I myself, I'm not on radio. I don't know how to get you in the music, but I train you and I give you the best experience I could. But I want you to keep pushing, and I want you to pursue it. And I don't want you to give up, because you are greatness. My nickname that Chopper gave me was Greatness. He used to call me 2 things, Red Man and Greatness. He said, because you're great, you're talented, and I know you're going to make it in your life. He said, however, Greatness, they go fight you. I know they go come at you, they go fight you. But I know you go make it. I said, well, why are you saying they go fight me? You go be here with me to help me. He said, that's the part that I want you to brace yourself for. Some people want me dead. They want to get rid of me. And I wouldn't be here. I would die. I would die. They would come for me. I said, what do you mean some people don't want you alive? I don't understand it. And then he told me, I don't want to go into much details. I want you to be strong. And I want you to know that you have to make it. Because you is greatness. And even when I die, I want you to keep pushing. Because you is greatness. And I, Chopper, tell you that. And I, Chopper, train you. And I train you to be strong. And everything you've been through in life, know that you cannot give up. And you had to do it for me, and you had to do it for you. I said, but you're not going to be here. You're telling me I had to prepare myself for you not being here? I don't understand it. Why would somebody want to do you something when you've been so good to me, But everybody have their own journey and their own paths. Little after that, my friend was unalived by gun violence in Diego Martin West Side. Yeah. They killed him. My life took a turn. Took a dread turn. A dread turn. When Chopper died, I couldn't face it. I couldn't deal with it. This is actually the very first time I'm actually speaking about it. I couldn't deal with it. I was on the ground still. I didn't get onto radio. I was a nobody in the corporate world, in the world of professional radio and stuff, or professional voice actor. I was just a hustler on the ground, and I was with a DJ group and trying to find my way. And now that I've seen a little headway, the person who supposed to be here for me and my friend, they took that away from me. I wasn't prepared to deal with that. To this day, I still haven't, I can't come to terms that Chopper not here. But I know I don't have a choice. When Chopper died, I just remember the conversation he had with me on the beach. It was a very personal conversation. He said certain things, I wouldn't disclose that. But I left Trinidad. But before I left Trinidad, this happened. When Chopper died, it hurt me so much. I lost my friend, I lost my protector, I lost the person that believed in me, I lost the person that, I thought would give me the extra push to make it even more in the industry. When he died, however, I had a vengeance. I went after trying to get a job on radio with a vengeance. When I tell you, like, my energy was, all I could remember was the conversation that Chopper and I had on the beach. And he keep telling me, greatness, don't give up. Keep pushing. Do this for me and you. Even though I die, even though if they kill me, do this for me and you. You're going to make it. I know I'm telling you, you're going to make it. I kept pushing. I went over 10 times to different radio stations. I get turned down 10 times. Sometimes the security took my demo, they threw it in the bin, people run me out of the station, you name it, but I kept going over and over. And the thing is, I didn't take it personal because back then, truth be told, radio back then, not now, radio back then, everybody had like their time slots and everybody already had their specific shifts and everybody was already a brand. So who am I? I mean, I'm hot on the ground, in the sun, in the DJ world on the ground, but nobody knows me professionally in the corporate world. So I understood, you understand? And everybody has to pay their dues. But I was still looking for like a little way out where I could, get a little overnight shift, sell for bus. So I keep pushing. One radio station took me in. That was with Mr. Amar. Yeah, his radio station. I walked boldly into that radio station and let them know. I said, listen, I come here to work. I fed up. I keep going around to different radio stations. Nobody taking me in. Station slots full and some people don't know me, and I have the talent and I have a demo. And I remember paying $100 to voice a demo, and I said, please listen to my demo. And I was hired instantly. I worked there for a short space of time. Then I wanted to move on to something like urban radio. My dream was to be on urban radio. Remember, I'm already graduated from broadcasting school. I'm certified, okay? Much thanks to Mr. Percy Parker, IBC in Belmont. That was the school that I attended. Yeah, Mr. Percy Parker, he knows me very well. Yeah. After working by Mr. Amar 104.7, I go into urban radio again, looking for work. And the only radio station that took me in back then, it was Red 96.7 FM. Yeah, that was my very first urban radio station. Much thanks to Mr. Tony Lee, Mr. Benoit, but I got to work the overnights there. I worked there for like about a year and a half, but at the same time I was still holding on a little job I had, and it was a lot. Sometimes I used to sleep in the radio station because my shifts were very late, and then I had to travel home, and sometimes I didn't used to get taxis and stuff, and this is something people didn't even know until one day they get to find out, but wait now, this girl sleeping in the station, and I tell the security, I beg him, I say, please, oh God, don't tell nobody nothing now. It's just that I can't travel after 3 o'clock in the morning. So I used to work like 12 midnight to 3 a.m., sometimes 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., sometimes 12 a.m., midnight to 6 a.m., and I did that for like about a year and a half. And then from there, I wanted to get a primetime shift. I went to another particular radio station. However, what I was faced with that radio station, I wish if the boss had turned and tell me, we time slot full, we have no space. But finally, when I got through, on the 4th time when I went to that radio station, I got through to an interview with him. Got in his office. He took me to his office and he looked at me and he said, okay, you're J Angel, you're hot on the ground, okay, you're big on the ground, people know you're on the ground, but the corporate world doesn't know you. So how could I put you on this radio station just like that? I said, well, I have a little experience and I just willing to, probably even work on the overnights. I could work midnight to 3 a.m. or midnight to 6 a.m., and I'm willing to work for $100 a shift. And he looked at me and he said, you're hot on the ground, but you're not hot in the corporate world. You're not hot on urban radio. Nobody knows you. So if I take you and I put you on this station, what's in it for me? I said, what do you mean, what's in it for you? I say, well, I give you my services and, in exchange, I get $100 for a shift. And I could work the overnights and I could work my way up until maybe I could become a co-host. And he said, no, I'm not speaking about that. And he looked down at me. What's in it for me? For me. In that moment, I remember Chopper. We used to have conversations about this. And one time he told me, he said, there are people who would try to take advantage of you, but don't ever give your talent for that. Do it the right way. And immediately remembering Chopper, I just looked at this man. I remember bowing my head and I look up at him and I tell him, you could take the radio station and shove it up your ass. I don't want to work here anymore. Because now I understand where you're saying what's in it for you. And I'm not going down that road. I have a talent. I may not be the biggest thing right now in Trinidad, but I'm not going to be one of the biggest in time to come. But this is not the way. And I got up, and I remember walking out of his office. And then when I reached the door, I turned back around and I look at him and I tell him, I say, look at my face good. And just know, in time to come, I'll be one of the biggest radio announcers. And I'll be one of the biggest independent female entertainers. And no man is going to take advantage of me. And you will live to see it. I walked out today. Never look back. Never look back. Never look back. Fast forward to this day. I don't get my music play on that station. And I don't care. This is my truth. You understand? I have no reason to lie. I'm not going to call any names. I don't have to. You understand? People big and they have sense. However, I must say, not cutting away from anything, but I just want to thank all the other stations in Trinidad and Tobago that always give me that support. You know, Mr. Amar, thank you from 104.7. Thank you to you and your wife for giving me that opportunity. Red 96.7. Thank you so very much. You know, the urban station that I made my name on, Slam 100.5, which you all know. Thank you so much. You know, I'll go into that just now. 94.1, Hot 93, you know, a lot of the urban stations, Indian stations, WAC radio, you know, you all, thank you so much, the media houses, thank you all so much for giving me this support, you know, because I came from real far. A lot of people, some people know of what I went through, and then some people don't know. But that is just an experience that I went through in order to become a radio announcer. After that experience that I had from that radio station, trying to apply for a position on it, I left Trinidad. I got frustrated and I left Trinidad. And I said, boy, Trinidad had nothing for me. Chopper not here, I ain't not going through that. I leave Trinidad. When I left Trinidad and I went up the islands. And going up the islands, I said, maybe if I get on radio up the islands, I might get you with something, you know. I went to Tortola, I went to the BVI, I also went to Barbados. When I went to Barbados, this was the very first time I met DJ Puffy, the world-renowned DJ Puffy that you all may know now. I met DJ Puffy. I played out in a few events with DJ Puffy. And in one of those events I played out with DJ Puffy, I never thought my life would have changed. And this is what happened. One event I played out with DJ Puffy in Barbados, I will never forget. It was a crop over time and Hyper Hopper kept a boat ride. This was in the earlys when he was now keeping, I think it was like a dock work or something like that. And he kept a boat ride. Yes, Puffy played on it. I emceed for him. And I never thought that that boat ride, my life would have changed. I met a promoter on that boat ride by the name of Kevin. He's no longer here with us today. He passed away in the pandemic. But Kevin, that promoter, he was a promoter from South. And he was keeping an event, a carnival event in Trinidad. And he said, girl, who is you, girl? You real bad. You had to be from Trinidad. I say, yeah. He said, but why you not on radio in Trinidad? Why you not down there? I say, well, you know, long story short, Trinidad don't want me. And I don't really have any, I don't really have any opportunity down there right now. You know, I tried, but right now, everybody time slot full, and you know, I just probably just had to wait it out, and I'd come out here to try and see if it is I could make a name out here for myself. He said, nah girl, you Trini to the bone, girl, you real bad. You's one of the baddest females I ever heard in a long time. Listen, hear what? I have a party. I want you to come in it. I have an idea. I want all female DJ cast and MCs, only females. I want to bring you. I said, well, right now in the process, I'm moving to Barbados to live here, so I don't even have anywhere really to stay in Trinidad and stuff. You know, he said, nah, I fly in here, I paying for your ticket and everything. And he begged me, and I tell him, I said, no, I don't want to come back to Trinidad. I don't want to come back to Trinidad. I have so much bad memories. So, man, I'm not getting through with a job on radio, you know. So he said, nah, come to this party. You never know what could happen. And for some reason, this Kevin was so determined. And look at how God is working. He was so determined and persistent to get me to come back to Trinidad. I finally agree. Somehow I agree. I went down to Trinidad the next week for the event. And in that event, at Kevin's event, I never thought my life would have changed even more. That's where I met a Mr. by the name of Signal to Noise, Mr. Joel Morris, my former manager. Yeah. But the way we met, it was very interesting though, because I was playing out at the event with my DJ Marlon, and meeting Signal, he came up on the DJ set. But back then, you could imagine, trust me, I was like a rebel. My best friend died, trying to push you in the industry. A promoter bring me back from Barbados. I want a girl back at Trinidad. I frustrated. I've been through so much. And when Signal came up to me on set, he said, "Your song ain't good, man." I just run him. I said, "Why you just don't move from here?" I just run him. Honestly, I run him. Little did I know that I was signal to noise. I didn't know. But the next day, I used to voice ads for engineer in Trinidad called President Def. And Def called me. He said, "Jay, you met a man so when he described the person last night in that event you play out in South, you ain't going back Barbados yet, right?" I said, "Nah." He said, "Girl, like signal to noise. The DJ signal to noise." I said, "DJ, like the DJs." I said, "Oh my goodness." I said, "Def, I ran this man. I literally ran this man." I tell him, man, I said, "Oh gosh, I'm so sorry now." He said, "Girl, I think God going to open a way for you. I think you're going to get a big breakthrough here for radio." I said, "Serious?" I said, boy, I hope it don't come with no what's in it for me. He said, "Nah, man." He said, "Nah, give it a try. This is his number. Give him a call. He waiting for you to call him." I built up the courage and I called Signal. And I called him and started to apologize. I said, "Oh God, Mr. Signal, I'm so sorry. I disrespect you and I run you and whatever, but I just going through a lot." He said, "Nah, don't apologize to me. I like that you run me. And you get on bad. You have a hot mouth, but I like that you run me." I say, "You like that I run you? Like, how that even possible?" He said, "No." He said, "That showed me when you are working, you do not become easily distracted. And that is a quality that I'm looking for. We have an opportunity for you. I have a radio station coming out, linking up with Guardian Media Limited. I team up together with them. And this is the media company that is going to be pushing and running the station. We're collaborating. And it's an urban station." I say, "Really?" I say, "Okay." I say, "Well, I don't want to work no overnight, sir, because right now my life, I live in it in Barbados and I'm trying to, pursue my thing. So I don't want nobody wasting my time in Trinidad because I feel like Trinidad don't have nothing for me." He said, "Nah, don't say that." He said, "Let's meet and let's have a meeting." I said, "Nah, I don't want to meet nobody." He said, "Okay, well, how about I put you on a three-way call?" And I'll never forget, he put me on a three-way call with Mr. Brandon Khan. In that moment, I spoke with Brandon Khan. I spoke with Mr. Steve Dipnerine, Signal. I even got to spoke with Mr. Sabga and stuff. And the heads of, at the point in time, Guardian Media Limited. And they were talking to me and we were negotiating. And I remember I had my foot down. I say, "If it is you all want me on this station, and I'm going through what it is I went through. I want a primetime shift. And I want to eventually become an entertainer. I want to sing. I want to write music. I want to be a full-time entertainer." And they say, "Well, we can't really help with the entertainment part, but we can help with the radio part." I say, "I want a manager too." They say, "So you're not going and come and work for, we giving you an opportunity. You go work 7 days a week we giving you. 5 days, 7 days, you name it. And we put in your prime time. That not good enough?" I say, "I need a manager. And I want to pursue music too." And I was literally, I literally stood up and I stand my ground, And I told him, I said, "I have one more request. My DJ Marlon from Players International, I want him on the radio station too." Because before Chopper died, Chopper always told me DJ Marlon was the DJ, the official DJ for Players International, the sound system I came up under. And Chopper always used to tell me, "Jay, today or tomorrow I'm not here, and you get through with radio, make sure that Marlon get on a station with you." And I told him, I said, "I'm not coming on the station unless Marlon come." And they say, "All right, no problem." And then everybody get quiet and they say, "Well, with the manager part, we're not sure." I say, "Well, somebody had to manage me." And I remember Mr. Brandon Khan and Steve Dipnerine saying on the phone, "Well, Signal, you had to take one for the team, because we giving her the radio station, we giving she primetime shift, we willing to take on the DJ, we willing to pay her such and such the price she asking for. But for a manager, you had to take one for the team. You go have to step up and manage her." And I fully remember Signal said on the phone, he said, "Okay, I'll manage her. No problem. I'll manage her." And my life changed. My life changed from there, However, when Signal became my manager, it wasn't an easy task. There were a lot of challenges because even though while I was in Barbados and I moved away from Trinidad, I'll be very honest, while I was pursuing my radio and stuff and sound system in Barbados, I also got myself involved back in the street life in a different way. However, I had to survive. So I turned back to what I knew best, which was the streets. I lived a life with some experiences in certain environments in the streets, which I wasn't proud of. I'm still not proud of it, but I had to deal with that. Yeah. Because playing out in events, moving the DJ Puffy or trying to push in Barbados, it wasn't the only thing that I could have done to pay my rent and take care of myself. So I had to come and be open with Signal. Yeah. What I must say though is that people people can be so vindictive and so malicious that there were people that spread rumors that my manager was with me or I was with my manager. That never happened. Never. When I met Signal, he became like a protector to me. He became like a father figure to me. And he really was that person that was there for me. I opened up to him about my entire life. I let him know everything that I was involved in, everything that I went through. And he had this plan that this radio station, Slam 100.5 FM, is going to be my way out. It was very challenging when he started managing me. It wasn't easy. He was dealing with somebody who was a rebel, a young lady that just needed a lot of guidance and been through so much, had a lot of unhealed traumas, and I never trusted people. One of the things that Signal had a big challenge with me is that it took some time for me to trust him. And he didn't blame me for it, but he always made me see that, Jay, at the end of the day, Angel, everybody is not the same. Whoever you was exposed to or you came across or whoever, certain people you met, I am not like that. And it took some time for me to get to know Sig, and Signal know everything. I'm telling you, from what happened in my childhood, the abuse, to how I grew up, to it have nothing that nobody could tell Signal about me that he doesn't know. So, to this day, there will be some people that will tell him certain things about me and he just brush it off, because at the end of the day, he knows the real me. He know me and he know how I am. So I went on to work for Slam 100.5, 100.5 FM. Prime time, I worked every day, Sunday to Sunday, twice on a Sunday, 3 times on a Sunday, morning shift, afternoon drive, any shift I could have hold on, weekend, I had the vibes too, like, I got the training and I got the experience that I could hold on any shift. And to this day now, I can run an entire radio station with my eyes closed. And while working at Guardian Media Limited, however, I also took advantage of the company and the other resources that they had. I wasn't just a radio announcer. Like, for example, when coming to news, I'm very good at that. When coming to script writing and all these things and events and all these things and marketing, and I literally used to shadow people. So I would work radio. From radio, sometimes I used to go upstairs to CNC3 and Samson Nanton, much thanks to him, Goldally. Those are the people that used to train me and show me the ropes of becoming an anchor and what it is, the work entailed. And I used to just sit down and learn, because I wanted to. Nobody told me to do it, and it was something that I went to Mr. Sabga and I asked Mr. Sabga if I can do, and he said sure. He said, I wish if more employees could actually be like you, take advantage of the company. This is a company you could learn about. And I decided to venture off into learning, and I got to know a lot about media through Guardian Media Limited. That is the radio station that literally gave me my prolific name in the entertainment industry, J Angel. I was experienced, I was exposed to corporate world. I did so many events. I hosted a lot of events, a lot of big events, concert, parties, ads, commercials, corporate party ads, you name it. Operator's voice, you name it, not just Trinidad, Guyana, in the Caribbean, internationally. So I am a professional voice actor, but working at Slam 100.5 FM is what really changed my life and really put me into the pockets of becoming who I am in music as well. So the blueprint that Chopper gave me, he said, listen, become an MC on the ground, become good in being an MC, being in the DJ group on the ground. From that, pave your way to broadcasting school. When you reach broadcasting school, push for a radio station. When you get on radio, you finally get your breakthrough on radio, take that avenue to network yourself, to get into the music. So Chopper kind of gave me a blueprint, and me myself, I also thought that, I think that should be my blueprint, because everybody's journey is different. and I always held to my integrity. I have had opportunities where people gave me ultimatums in order for me to make it. I was given options of doing certain things, being with this one, being with that one, in order to make it. And I turned everything down. Everything down. You understand? And if it's one thing that my former manager, Mr. Joel Morris, taught me, Signal, he always said, listen, don't ever take your talent and distort that. And I always said to myself, that's my gift from God. I wouldn't do that. You understand me? I rather not be in entertainment if I have to do that. So whatever come my way, I'm going to shut it down. You understand what I'm saying? And that's exactly what I did. When I was on radio, I helped a lot of people. I became such a household name, one of the top female radio announcers in Trinidad and Tobago. And I helped a lot of people. I can give you some names of some people. This is my truth, so why not share it? One of the persons I was very happy to help, actually, which was very significant for me in particular, because at that point in time, the music that we know as Trinidad, it wasn't playing on corporate radio. It wasn't playing on urban radio. It was heavy on the ground, but for some reason, it wasn't on urban radio. And I remember attending an event one time on the Avenue, in ZA at the time. The club was named that. And I met Johnny Bravo, the bodyguard Johnny Bravo. And I saw this little dark-skinned guy singing on stage, and people was, well entertained. And I said, hey, he have a vibe. And I said, Bravo, who is that guy? And he said, Jay, that Prince Swanee. I said, Prince Swanee? I never heard of him. He started to tell me about Prince Swanee. I said, but he have a vibe. Why his music is not playing on radio? He said, Jay Gill, we trying, but you know how it is. I said, hey, what? I'm going to interview him. So said, so done. I took the risk, and one of the very first interviews that Prince Swanee did, it was with me, Jay Angel. Meeting Prince Swanee, that really was a good experience for me in terms of being able to assist somebody and help somebody on the ground. I always had this love for people that trying to make it, because it's like I see myself in them. I know what my journey been like, so I was never hesitant. I helped Prince Swanee. I got him an interview, and after that interview, I noticed like other radio stations started to interview him. His music started to play on corporate radio, and I was so happy for him. He turned out to be somebody who was very grateful for that interview. And after that interview, his life changed. Yeah, and look at who he is today. I worked with a number of artists, from College Boy Jesse to Spine to Olatunji. I interviewed Bunji Garlin one time, the very first week that his song Differentology came out. I was one of the very first persons to interview Bunji. You understand? And much thanks to his producer at the time, Sheriff. He was the person who asked me, to assist with the interview. And I said, not a problem, I'll do the best I could. And Differentology was a song that really made a difference to him, because at that point in time when it came out, not many people was gravitating towards it. But I pushed that song a lot together with other people as well, and I'm very happy to be a part of his journey along with other artists. I remember when Voice, soca artist Voice, he came out with Take a Wine on an Alien. I pushed that song a lot on radio, organized interview for him. Russian from Jamaica, a lot of Jamaicans I assisted, from Conscience to Version to you name it. When coming to Trinidad, I helped a lot of producers back then. Being, Jay Angel, I decided that I always wanted to be a very helpful person, because I didn't have it easy in my come up. So anybody who came to me, I always tried my best to assist them. I helped a lot of producers as well in this country. Yeah, one of the first persons was Mill Beats Entertainment, and he was actually one of the first producers that I recorded music with as well. I helped him a lot with artists that he was recording. I interviewed them, put them on radio, put their music on the radio station, assisted them in rotation, getting their music played. Kit Israel, Madmen from Madmen Productions. People reached out to me, and I would always be there to assist them. Spine, Mr. Spine, you understand? Any producer that reached out to me, I always helped them. One producer in particular as well, Anson, he's also the manager of Blackman's Granddaughter. He, in fact, is one of the producers that I helped the most in this country when it is I was on radio. Yeah, you understand? When I met Anson, he was working out of my very dear friend. He passed away now, a radio announcer and soca artist, Devon Matthews. He was working out of Devon Matthews' studio. He wasn't the person that he is today, or the things that he have accomplished today. He was nowhere close to that back then. When I met him, nowhere close to that, and he came to me and he told me how much, fight he was getting in the industry, and how it is, not much people are there to help him, and he thinking about going back to work offshore because he has his wife and family to maintain, and like he might have to come out of the music. And I said, no, let me try to look for a way to see if I can help you. All right. And I tell him, I said, just hold on, don't worry, let me see what I can do. And I went to Signal, my former manager back then, the boss at the radio station as well. I went to him, I took him from Port of Spain, and I drove him up to Santa Rosa for him to meet Anson. And I introduced Anson to urban radio, to Slam 100.5 FM, and that's how he got to meet Signal. And from there we decided to come up with a plan to assist him and other producers as well. But in particular, when Anson came to me, I honestly, I really felt it for him, how somebody could be so talented and again so much fight, and the people not assisting him, so. And when he shared certain things to me, personal things as well, I said, I want to step up and help him. And honestly, when he came, at one point he had tears in his eyes, he was crying, and I didn't want it to see somebody that has so much talent, and if I have the opportunity to help, I should. And that's how I see it. So Signal and we came up with the option to assist him with his music and all the artists he was working with. And that's when I got to meet Pretty, and I met like Jimmy October, and I met Shraddha at the point in time. She had a hit song with him as well, and bringing them to the radio station. I had a specific time slot within my show on radio that I designed in such a way for all of Anson's new artists and new music, and other producers, new music and their new artists, to be interviewed and to be on rotation in that particular time slot on my show. Because remember, I worked radio every day, so I really went out of my way to help a lot of people. Some people turned out to be grateful and have very good things to say and appreciative, and well, for some people, they have nothing nice to say, turn out to be very ungrateful. And some of them would say the worst about me, or if anything, come across on the media that might be funny or bad about me, they would entertain it and they would gloat over it, but such is life. And my thing is this: I don't look for help or feel any sense of entitlement from people that I help. I leave everything in the hands of God. And that's how my mother, she always trained me that way, and always tell me that, leave everybody, baby girl, up to Jehovah God. Leave everybody in the hands of God. I did my part. I'm happy to assist many of them on their journey to where they are now. It's okay if some saw me as just being used at that point in time to work their way up. It's fine. I did my best. And it's not just me, but I'm pretty sure there are other DJs, other radio announcers, other radio stations that have helped some of these people that I have assisted in the world of entertainment. And it's just about, just doing your best, helping who you can help, and you move on. But I don't look for glory from people who I have helped, because some of them, I'm telling you, they have nothing good to say. But I always say this one thing: tell people the truth. Even if you may not like somebody, you could respect them. Even if you may not like somebody, or you feel threatened by somebody, or I don't know, whatever it may be, at least tell people the truth. What did J Angel do for you? Tell people what J Angel did for you. Because I have helped a lot of people. Some people, like I said, they will acknowledge it. Some people, they wouldn't. They would make me to seem as if I was the worst person ever. And my thing is, I wasn't the worst person then when you needed my help. When you came to me, when you came crying, when you came begging, I stretched out and I helped. But to each their own. I wish everybody well. And now I am a fully independent entertainer. I resigned from radio in 2018. Very, 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 very good terms I resigned on. Once again, people spreading rumors again, Guardian Media Limited and that will always be my home. Red 96.7 always be my home. I'm telling you, these are the people that really assisted me, and I will have nothing but good things. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I was blessed with opportunities to be in those companies, and just being there, it made me into the woman who I am, J Angel. And this is how I could stand up on my own. To my former manager, Mr. Joel Morris, we always had the plan that he would train me enough to one day take over independently on my own, because you know he wouldn't be able to manage me all the days of his life. And I told him, I said, that's fine, that's okay, I appreciate that, you know. And I'm very versed in the business of music, in entertainment. I am the owner of J Angel Productions. I am the owner of Jav Booking and Consultant Agency. Yes, I manage my own self. I don't have any manager. I manage my own self to this date, and I'm very happy doing so. I have my experience, and I'm always learning too, but I keep pushing, and in that way I protect myself so nobody can rob me or take advantage of me. You know, it's not easy being independent, but it's not impossible. And I'm a quick learner as well, and I know I'm a very strong person. I am here living my dream, finally, being J Angel, being independent, being an independent voice actor, although I resigned from radio will always be my first love, but I'm into a different chapter of my life. I'm writing music, I'm producing, I am the executive producer for all my projects, I am the music video director, executive director, coming up with all the creative concepts, everything. You're looking at the person here. This is the person. I have a little team of men that work for me, and these are my people. And honestly, I cannot do it without them. I must say thanks to the people who are on board and that works together with me and for me, because if I don't have them, I'm telling you, there's no J Angel really. But these people believe in me. They trust me to steer the ship, one captain on the ship. They understand the assignment, and we're moving forward. Yeah, and I'm living my life, and I'm living my dream now, you know, after everything I've been through. Wow, I feel like I make it. But I always tell my mom now is just about making it in the music in a way in which I would love to benefit not just me, but everybody around me. For years, I've been putting money into music. I never had a major hit. I mean, I've always had good songs, little trending songs and stuff, but I never had like a major hit. I dream of having a major hit. I know one day it will come, or hits. I know one day it will come. I come from so far. So I know in coming from so far, it's only further I have to go. Because if this wasn't meant for me, I would have never been here. And I am genuinely entertainer that I love entertaining my people. I love creating. I love seeing people happy and smiles on people's face that make them feel so fulfilled when they are entertained. Because everybody that come to an event, everybody is going through something. You don't know what somebody sacrificed. You don't know what they're going through a bad breakup. They don't have money. They have, you know, a lost a loved one in the family, and they come in to have a good time. And for me to be an entertainer, to put a smile on someone's face, that is my blessing. And I feel very fulfilled and purposeful. I am a very different type of entertainer. I decided to make a transition into my musical side of my career to pave my own lane for myself. And in so doing, I decided to align characters. I'm already a voice actor, so I decided to align characters with my music. In 2023, I came out as Trini Catwoman J Angel. Yes. I went trending a lot. In last year Carnival, actually, I went trending mostly for when it is I had a little mishap. I ended up falling in the Carnival while I was performing. But the thing is, while I fell in the Carnival, I got back up. The same night, I got back up. No damages. I got back up, and I entertained my people, and it was really good. However, I say, you know what? Okay, I know how Trinidad is. I know about this social media thing. Okay, my business is social media. I'm going to post it. So I posted my fall. I did. And that just spread like wildfire. When I tell you wildfire, like there were some people who were so happy that I fell. And it really opened my eyes as well, because the thing is, there were some people in entertainment, when they saw the video, they started to laugh at me. They reposted the video. They had some captions on their social media pages blasting me, ridicule me. It had people in the public laugh at me, ridicule me. People said the worst about me. And that didn't stop me, but it opened up my eyes to see how people can be, you know. And shockingly, some of these people that I helped while I was on radio, you know, the prolific woman that I am, I was shocked to see how some of them were speaking about me and how they were laughing and stuff. And I said, wow, like, just imagine. People will literally wait, and it's like they're waiting on the sideline to see a downfall, to glorify that. Like, what? I said, no way. I'm owning up to my thing. You understand? This is my journey. This is my truth. I'm literally like kind of growing my own community, my own nation of people online. And I have my supporters, and I'm going to be truthful, and I'm going to let my fan base see that, listen, my journey is not an easy one. So anything good or bad happen, fall or do fall, whatever, I am going to post it. You all have to see that this is my journey, and this is my life. You understand? So I have nothing to hide. I'm a realist. Some people don't like real. But little did they know, when I fell in the carnival and I got right back up, I really got right back up, because that was last year was the most bookings I ever got in my entire life, throughout my entire career. People started to call me from left, right, you name it. Even internationally, I got bookings. I did Labor Day in New York. I traveled here, I traveled there, met so many people, and my network just keep expanding. And I'm like, and people keep telling me, we love the character, we love it, we love how you're so brave, and we just love how you could bring something different for us in the carnival. And the thing is, carnival, how I know it to be since I was a little girl, was always about character. Carnival is character. Like, we had soca artists who was Superman, Rocket Man, Silver Surfer, this Viking, this, you understand what I'm saying? We had Pink Panther, soca Elvis, soca Michael Jackson, you understand? The King Shadow, you understand? He used to have on his all black and stuff. So there was always costuming and theatrical stuff and characters, and that's what I know carnival to be, growing up as a little girl. And I said, for some years now I've been looking on, and I find like that kind of been taken away. Most times you would only see people jump into characters and bring out that form of creativity in a competition, whatever it may be, calypso or soca monarch or something, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. Fast forward to now, I am seeing people singing about cats. I'm seeing people dressing up in cat-like costumes, cat print outfits. I've even seen, like, in certain events that you go to, the same cat ears that I would wear. Some people wear the neon cat ears, they wear cat ears, and it's amazing to see what I, did. Some people laughed at it, some people ridicule it, only to now imitate it. So I'm like, wow. That's what it takes to be a trendsetter, So I see myself as a leader. I see myself as a trendsetter. I love being in character. I'm a voice actor professionally, and I just love entertaining people. So yeah, I own it. Yeah, and Trini Catwoman, J, everybody know me now. Yeah. And now moving into Carnival 2025, I have a surprise. Yeah, it didn't stop there. Not at all, not at all. I'm a woman of many characters. I have a lot of creativity in me. I love creating. I'll always be here to keep reinventing myself. Always, always. Whether people like it, they don't like it, it doesn't matter to me. Right now, I am living my dream, and without any apology. I'm telling you, I'm very confident with it. So now for Carnival 2025, and I'm super excited for 2025. Yes, Trini Catwoman will be there for 2025. However, I have an extra surprise. Remember, I'm a woman, I love creating, and I just want my people to know, in every entertainer's life, there comes a time where you have to keep growing and elevating yourself and reinventing yourself. Me coming up with characters, so the start of Trini Catwoman, J, that's my first character, but I have others. Yeah, so for 2025, I have another official character that's coming. It will be aligned with my music as well. I just would like my people to know that there's another side of me in the music that you all are going to be hearing. I've never sung anything like that before. I've never written music like that before. And this is a transition that I'm going to make musically. I am very nervous, Faith. A bit scared, I'm excited, everything. So many different rush of emotions, but I do hope that my people would appreciate this transition I'm bringing for 2025 Carnival. My very first groovy track for 2025 Carnival will be dropping on Friday. And I just want you all to know it's going to be totally different compared to the Trini Catwoman J that you all know, or the regular J Angel you all will know. Alright, this is something that I've always longed to do. I've always wanted to make foundational music, music that could solidify my culture. And I always wanted to do a track in particular that can give back to my people. And I strongly believe that this one is it, and I really do hope that you all will appreciate it. So look out for it on Friday. I would just like to say to my people and to everybody that's looking on, as an independent entertainer and creative in the entertainment industry, I do appreciate your support. It is greatly needed, even more so for Carnival 2025. I don't have any big artists that's pushing me, supporting me. I don't have any big producers supporting me and pushing me. I don't have a manager, I independently I do my stuff. Nor do I feel entitled, this is my journey. I'm enjoying it, and maybe this is what God ordained for me to just allow me to be independent. It will surely be as a protection for me as well. For everyone I have helped, I'm very grateful. I'm very happy to do so. I'm not looking for any help in return. If people choose to help me, I appreciate it. I'm always willing to work with anyone. If people decide to reach out to me, they do decide to reach out, and I'm always here. My doors are always open. But for Carnival 2025, you'll be sure to look out for another side of J Angel. Well, folks, that's it for my biography and my little story. Hope you guys get to learn more about me and my truth. And this is just, some bits and pieces of it. There's so much more to me, but like I said, in future, other things will be revealed. For now, I just want to say thank you to my beautiful country, Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you all so much. Your support, all the fans, the supporters, the media houses, DJs, radio announcers, promoters, everybody who take a chance on me. Thank you all so much. I deeply appreciate it. It means a lot to me, especially as an independent young woman in this business, pushing on my own. Thank you all so much. This is it. I am J Angel, and this is my truth. Thank you for watching.